What's up, sassy gamers? Today is November 4th, 2021, and this is Got Our Attention Podcast, Season 2, Episode 21. And
in a world where Zeisy is the host,
in a world,
and he affects a new voice for his broadcasting.
In a world where I have to put up with this guy, Brian, who we're here with. Also Bruno, also Kelly. What's up, guys? You guys all right?
What's up, guys?
Going on? Yeah, doing pretty good.
Excellent. Well, today has been great. And this week has been great. And next week will be great. And everything is great. I just want to make sure that we all are on the same page that I am this week.
Well, you're on a page. I was notified at 4:00 yesterday that my children were not going to have school tomorrow because
of some sport or something.
Some sports thing.
Sports ball.
Some sports ball parade. And yeah, I'm not exactly happy with that.
Well, it's weird. It's like there's, usually sports ball involves like two teams competing and obviously someone won, but we're going to make a whole like parade out of it or something. Like, I don't know why we care here, but I mean, whatever.
You know what? Make the parade on a Saturday and then my kids can go to school on Friday.
I mean, Dragon Con's parade's on a Saturday.
Thank you. Every parade I know of is on a Saturday.
And it also doesn't start here in this part of the city and then drive down the interstate and then start at another part of the city.
That's so weird.
So we should let our kids go home on Friday to make sure they participate. Because, the parents want to be there and they want to bring their kids.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about.
And you live under a rock like we do.
Yeah, and actually care about sports or don't care about sports and wonder what the heck we're talking about still. The Atlanta Braves won the World Series and
against the United States, the world.
Against yes, the World Series played only in US and Canada. And the city decided that we definitely need to celebrate this. Great, fantastic. I'm all about a celebration. You know me. I love.
Yeah, meet me at the bar. I will.
Yes, I'm all about a celebration. But they decided to do the parade on a Friday, not a Saturday, not a Sunday, and I'm not happy with this decision because my children have been out of school a lot already this year.
Right.
I
went to pick up my kid. He's in daycare. He's not. We call it it's academy, but I mean it's just daycare, whatever. But I go there to pick him up.
He's at the academy.
He's at the academy. So I go pick him up, and his teacher is like, "Oh, are you going to the parade tomorrow?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Are you not from Atlanta?" And I'm like, "No, I just don't care." And but I'm like, I guess she was waiting for me to say yes so she could have one less kid in the class tomorrow. Maybe she could go to the parade, but unfortunately I don't care.
Sorry,
hold on,
she's calling in sick.
Did we win the World Series or something? Is that what the parade's for?
Yeah,
thanks for paying attention, Brian.
SAS Gaming won the World Series. We won.
Us specifically.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad they're having a parade for us.
Yeah, the United States won.
You think I'm joking? I actually did not put that together until right now.
Are you kidding?
And you say that I'm slow. That's really weird.
No, not slow. That's how much I don't pay attention to that shit.
Oh
Any viewers in chat, if you are a sports fan, we are very sorry.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I am a sports fan for some sports, but it's not. I'd rather. I mean, trust me. I play golf. I like golf. Baseball to me is so boring unless I'm physically there, like at the stadium or playing it. Like I can play softball or whatever. That's fun.
Yeah. It's boring in the stadium.
Hey, I like a good sports game. Friends and cocktails. I am all about it.
From the most sports
person. I like the Super Bowl and everybody sitting around and drinking some beer and eating.
I like some sports games. Those are great.
I personally think that baseball has the genesis, the seed of a great sports game in it. If they would just make some small changes. I mean, if they had like pieces of armor with spikes on it, or put spikes around the bases for when they're like trying to steal a base.
I like that idea.
That's cool.
Small landmines out in the outfield. It's like, okay, Jose's going under. Well, he's not going to get that one.
It's gonna be a sad Christmas, kids.
Oh man, that's actually pretty great. We should try to copyright that. Maybe like an X League, like the
No, that's
XFL.
That's like literally a joke from the 70s. I forgot who. I believe
Somebody's
it was
already
George Carlin.
copywritten it.
I mean,
Yeah, it was like George Carlin.
Sounds like George Carlin
has the originals.
Oh man. Well, Kelly, unfortunately, that sucks for you, but that doesn't have to suck for us, because I will not be participating in the parade or the fact that my child will be going to the
I thought
academy.
you were taking my kids to the parade.
Yeah, no.
I thought that was our deal.
No, there's no deal. We have no deal. Unfortunately, I'll be having brunch by myself, and
that's messed up.
You'll be at the parade.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, you're taking everybody to the parade.
I'm taking everybody to the parade now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Everybody's working remote.
You're taking me to the parade, actually.
Okay, good. Just bring your laptop.
What time is it?
Yeah.
No idea.
What? What do you mean bring my laptop? I'll just tell my boss that I'm going to a parade for sports, and he'll be like, cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, totally. It'd be fine.
Oh, dude, come on. The Braves haven't won anything in what was it, since the early 90s
years.
or something?
Yeah.
How about
losers?
y'all go to the parade? Kelly, you drop your kids off here, and we'll all play a game like pick the funny flowers out of the yard.
Oh, they like that game. They are very good at that game, so I am totally in.
I'd be down to play that game if it was pick the funny mushrooms out of the yard, but that's a different game.
It's not the game I'm going to allow my kids to play.
Exactly.
You and
I
play that game together.
It worries me now that you're a father. I wasn't worried before, but I'm kind of worried now.
I was saying the funny flowers like they didn't match the rest of the yard, not like the funny flowers. That's not what we're talking about here.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm in. Totally in.
I don't think so.
Kelly, tell us what's going on in your corner today. There you go. You're back to normal.
All right. So I was looking.
Are we normal? Mike Seliker said it. He said we're not normal.
We're not the usual
right.
crew. Yeah, he's like, I know the usual crew.
Not normal.
Normal. Because you said the normal crew, and he said this is not. I'm not on that podcast.
All right. So I was looking up things to discuss today, and this one article kept coming up over and over and over again, and so I was like, apparently this is popular, and I want to know if you guys heard of it. This guy in New Zealand, his name's Colin Craig Brown. He's a farmer. He's just doing some weeding in his garden. And suddenly he says something like, "Holy snapping turtle teeth." He realizes he's got this big thing in his garden. He thought it initially maybe had been a fungus. Turns out it's a gigantic freaking potato. Like a 17-pound potato to be exact.
Jeez.
The world record is actually like 10 pounds. He goes, he literally said, "Holy snapping turtle teeth."
That's what you say when you see a 17-pound
maybe
potato.
So if we have any viewers in New Zealand, let me know if that's like a common phrase.
We actually do. So maybe you guys.
I'm actually shocked that that's what he said, because I have played video games with New Zealanders for well over a decade, and usually when they're excited, they do not use that vocabulary by any means. Much more vulgar than that. So,
well, I mean, they're playing with you.
I got as vulgar as I got because I played games with them. They were more vulgar than me. When they first talked, I was actually shocked. I was like,
"Wow,
yo, man,
that's impressive.
You gonna talk like that to people?" And they're like, no. I'm saying these things in a positive way. And I'm like, there's a positive way to say those words? I'm like, yeah. If you had good at the front of it, it makes it positive. And I'm like,
that's what makes it positive.
Okay.
Having good on the front.
That's a baby. Yeah. That's not a potato.
Yeah, it does look like a baby. So they've done some cute
things.
That's
a sink that it's
that's a tumor.
Yeah, it looks like a crazy freaking tumor. It also they stuck it. They made a little
It's not a tumor.
like
It's
pulley
not
for
the
it
Duma.
because it didn't have arms and legs, couldn't walk on its own. Oh, and they named it Doug.
Yeah, because it's a
so-
baby
because
and it's a boy.
I mean, and they named it Doug. Okay,
The purple thing on the top of it is a potato peeler.
just for size. Yeah.
I mean, that's
They
acceptable.
put a hat on it. They put some
For
pictures on
irony, I would think.
Facebook. Yeah. So they're waiting for the official Guinness Book of World Records announcement or decision. But it looks like they're shoo-in. And Mr. Craig Brown says that he's an amateur like spirit maker. So he plans to make vodka out of it, which I think is a really awesome idea.
So would you say Doug is a spud? Or-
Doug is a spud. He's a huge spud, and he's gonna be
They have a leash.
Doug the spud.
Oh my
That's a
God.
leash.
No, he doesn't have a leash. It's not a
That's a
leash.
leash.
That's pulling the little trolley that they made for it, so they could
Okay.
take him on trips and stuff.
Oh my God. By the way,
this is a man that looks like he would say, "Holy snapping turtle teeth."
Yeah.
I'm just
He
saying.
does, yes.
That
You
sounds
can see a
like
video
a-
of him actually saying that.
that sounds
too.
like a Giphy link when it makes you like the random URL and it's like,
Mm.
holy snapping turtle teeth. Like, oh, that's my video that I can watch.
No, what it really sounds like is it sounds like one of those Twitter things where they're like, reply with your first name and the last thing you touched, and that's your fairy godmother name, or type of thing.
Thought
You
you
know,
knew
it's
those
like
By the
Exactly.
way, today is November 4th, and it is a
that'd
Bones
be like
Day.
Mike would be Mike Baby. Pig.
it's a Bones Day.
It's a Bones Day.
Well, that's why I
It's
was
Bones
so
Day, that's good.
productive today.
Yeah, just FYI. I know we were all feeling kind of good today.
Bones and no bones, but
So.
yeah. Well,
You're welcome. Thank you for introducing that to me. I am
you are very welcome,
I'm
sir.
quite-
You are very welcome.
quite sort of addicted, but not really. I don't know.
If you haven't listened to one of our previous podcasts, there is a TikTok of this dog. Is the dog's name Noodle?
Noodle.
Yeah.
Noodle. And he's a 13-year-old pug, and the owner every day does a TikTok of whether Noodle stands up and is good, aka bones, or lays down immediately, no bones. And if it's a bones day, he sees the day. If it's a no bones day, you should curl up,
And
with
just
a
go
warm
back to
blanket,
sleep.
and eat, drink, hot.
So
toddies
there's
all
a
day.
seize the day kind of day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's why I was. He's prophetic. Is really what it
Well,
is.
and ever since you introduced us to this, I have started hearing it in other places,
Yeah.
and it's not like people that I talk to that have picked it up. It is
Mhm.
like another podcast, and I'm like, well, that podcast does not listen to us. I know that. I know we're not the genesis of this. So
That's a
yeah, that
sensation.
has gone even more viral than I thought it.
What's
What?
going to be really
Yeah.
sad is that when this 13-year-old pug actually passes away, that's
I
going to
know.
be a sad day
So when he
That-
passes away, I guess that just makes it no bones days forever.
forever.
Or
Yeah.
or just a pile of bones.
Or it's Bones Days.
A
at least
pile of
for the
bones
first,
day,
like-
yo, that's dark. I like it. We're gonna pay for that comment.
Yeah.
I mean, if Noodle just becomes a backdrop in Kelly's background,
Hey, you never know.
For sure.
All right.
Bones
The
Day
ne-
forever.
The next article I have for you, it was actually is actually brought to us by Zycia.
welcome.
And the letter
And the letter D. The letter of
brought to you by the letter
of the
D.
day is the letter D.
It's the letter of the
Um,
day. Sesame
You and
Street.
I have seen way
I
too
know.
much Sesame Street.
It's so awesome.
A D.
Stands for
We're not going there yet because you're gonna ruin my article for me. So this guy tweeted about tweeted a picture of a couple wearing some t-shirts he saw at Disneyland. And apparently it's actually a pretty big thing to like wear funny homemade T-shirts that are adult.
Kelly would know.
Yeah, I mean, and then she said her T-shirt says, "I wanted the D." So she wanted the D, and he gave her the D.
I mean, it's appropriate. I feel.
It's got a little Disney castle there. It's clear that they're talking about Disney.
Which, I gotta be honest, like, well, the Disney font is enough to tell you that. But I did, when I saw the T-shirt, I did not realize how phallic the Disney castle actually is. So,
yeah.
Well, took me by surprise. I was like, on that T-shirt, maybe it's just subconscious, but
I mean, you've heard of Little Mermaid, haven't you?
Yeah, that's true.
The original castle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
So there's, I guess this has been like a theme, right? And people were making comments on the tweet saying stuff like, Disney needs to, reevaluate their dress code, and how am I supposed to explain this stuff to my kids? And
now that's the stupidest comment I've ever heard, because it's clear that it's a D as in the Disney font, and you could just tell him she wanted to go to Disney, and he gave her the Disney.
Right.
Yeah.
And out of all places, it's Disney who literally puts in all of these things in every movie they have.
We're getting there. Knock it off. Don't ruin my bit. So people were saying, oh, it's kind of tacky. It's offensive. And so this other woman who's got an annual pass, and she said, oh, I go to the theme park all the time. I have little kids, and I really like seeing these types of shirts. But, in that, she said, her name's Elliot Silva. She says, I do love seeing the shirts people come up with. It's fun. It's a fun part of the Disney experience. She said, but shirts about getting the D, so they did talk to Catherine Perlman, who's the founder of Family Coach LLC, and answering these questions like, so how am I supposed to explain this to my children? And just she said, honestly, if the kid doesn't get it, ignore it. And they're gonna feed off of your response, and take the signs from the kid. And so this all got me kind of thinking. First of all, I thought it was hysterical because I'm me, but what other? It did mention in the article, as we've been talking, we know that Disney does not shy away from sexual innuendos,
right?
And my very favorite sexual innuendo is a movie I have seen about 100 times because my girls love it. Frozen. If you have not seen Frozen, you must be living under a rock. Anna is one of.
Or Glacier.
Never seen Frozen.
I've seen it now because of obviously Baby. So.
Oh yeah. So Anna is a character in the movie. Really not spoiling anything. In the first 20 minutes, she gets engaged to somebody she's only known for 15 minutes. And she finds herself on this sled with this other guy. And she says to him, oh yeah, I got engaged. He's like, what? To this guy you've only known for a minute? And he's like, what do you know about him? And she's like, I know enough. And he starts quizzing her on questions like, what do you know? What about this? What about this? And he says shoe size or feet. And she goes, everybody knows shoe size doesn't matter. So she's trying to, the whole time she's trying to distract from answering these questions. And that's the funniest sexual innuendo that I know of.
See, my son likes Coco, and there's a scene of Coco where he is walking through this area, and he looks over, and there's a lady posed up, all bones, right? She's posed up, and this guy's painting her, and he looks over and he goes, he runs away. It's did that just happen?
Yeah. So in Lightning McQueen, the movie about movie cars. In the movie Cars, Lightning McQueen actually literally gets headlights flashed by a couple of other cars. So I went, Just so you're aware, I went through the internet and just like picked my favorites. In the movie, The Little Mermaid, one, the VHS, the original VHS, there is a very obvious penis as a castle in the background. That castle is actually not in the movie. That just made it to the VHS. But on the VHS cover, in future versions of the cover of the movie, removed. But also the song Under the Sea. Everybody knows that one, right? We've all seen.
Can you sing that again?
Can I flip you off on YouTube?
It's a Bones Day.
Yeah, that's allowed.
Okay, yeah. Sebastian the crab says, "Darling, it's better down where it's wetter." Again, another favorite.
Oh, is that what they're talking about? See, I thought they were just talking about,
Under the Sea.
Under the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
See, even chat says you should sing more.
Oh, I'm not even looking at chat. Oh God. In Toy Story, there is a toy that's made out of Barbie legs and a fishing rod with a hook.
Yeah.
And that is a play on the word hooker.
Nice.
Remember that one.
And
also in Toy Story, when Buzz Lightyear sees Jessie the cowgirl, his wings go whoong. Obviously, like an erection joke.
I think you're reading into this a little too much. I think you're just taking the innocence.
I mean,
there
like, because the black and white Mickey Mouse stuff back in the past.
Oh God, Steamboat Willie.
Well, around that time, I don't think it was in that exact one, but there's one where Minnie Mouse, who wears a skirt, is up above, and Mickey looks up at her and freaks out. And is super excited, like does the whole thing, I mean, he's literally looking up her skirt.
I don't understand. What's wrong with that? I mean, it's just
exactly.
Okay.
I mean, this stuff was always made for adults and children. It was to capture the attention of both.
Exactly. Because I mean,
and
we're gonna have to watch it.
It's been there the entire time. So,
but see,
okay, so there are two more that I do want to tell you about. One is in Hercules, where like the really bad guy, he's got like
Hades.
He kind of looks like he's got balls on his head already, right? But then he gets bonked on the head, and it creates a very phallic shape, and his eyebrows look like balls. So that one's good. And then the last one I will leave you with, again from Toy Story, Lotso, the bad bear. I guess it was it Toy Story 2 or 3?
I think it's
I think it's 2. He pulls off Mrs. Potato Head's mouth, and Mr. Potato Head, to stop from talking, Mr. Potato Head runs over and he grabs it away and he goes, "Hey, nobody takes my wife's mouth except me." That's the worst one. Come on. Nobody.
That's kind of a stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I mean, now if it was,
we definitely have different minds.
If it was Doug the Spud, then that'd be different. But I guess
if you said uses,
yeah, it's fine.
Are you never heard of somebody taking Doug the Spud? Something in their mouth?
I don't know what you're talking about, Kelly. I'm gonna have to look up some of the stuff you're talking about on our podcast here later on the internet and see if maybe I can come up with some answers.
And this is when I get fired from the podcast.
I don't know if you can get fired from the podcast. I don't know if that's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Like we have to. We have to create paperwork to like let you.
Am I gonna get canceled from the podcast? I
don't even know if that would. We have to like come up with rules or something to make that happen, and that would cause us more work.
It's not like I'm getting paid, so
yeah, that's true too. I mean, you are just with your own money and
I'm getting paid in love.
And
I'm getting paid in
alcohol.
love.
Exposure. We don't have exposure either.
Yeah, Bones Day.
A Bones Day.
I mean, hey, where else can you broadcast on a Bones Day?
That's true.
Probably
That's very
many
true.
other places, but oh man. Well, thanks for that, Kelly's Corner. That was fantastic. It's been a while since we've just had a normal.
And so for my Halloween DIY, I'm kidding.
Oh God, I literally thought this. I said, so does Halloween continue? Or are we done? Like, is it just a like we're
Why would
done
you think
now?
it's done?
Well, because it's obviously not Halloween anymore. Like we're past Halloween. Like we've already made past.
Is it Thanksgiving?
But we've made it past Halloween. Like Halloween is now
No,
over.
is it
It's
Thanksgiving?
November.
I like where you're going with this, Brian.
I mean,
Right.
Do
Like,
like what's happening.
We can keep the holiday until the next holiday starts.
Yes, yes.
All right, so Christmas can roll out till Valentine's Day?
The first. Durr.
Always say we should just cancel Valentine's Day and have a second Halloween.
So
Yeah.
chat says we should need a link to the Urban Dictionary, I guess, for the, I don't know, whatever they're looking for.
Which one?
I don't know. I'm not
Woods
sure.
in the mouth. I don't know.
Maybe Potato
With
Head. The
peanut
Spud.
butter mongoose.
Yeah. Maybe one of those. I don't know.
That's a name too. I like.
That's a great
Peanut Butter
name.
Mongoose.
Yeah, that's one of those names
awesome.
that have like a question with it. It's like peanut butter mongoose.
So later, peanut butter mongoose, please tell us the origin of your name because we're now also curious. And also,
tell us the intern.
what you.
Oh man. Hey, there's a cat in the background. We should drink.
Oh, yep.
I need to fill up too.
Rules of the game.
It's gonna be
He's
a
been running around.
long news segment. So anyway, I guess now we're gonna get into the news. Cue the music.
Cattail. Meow. Great meow.
All right. I have to kick off the news and I need to find my
You have to.
article.
You have to.
I do.
Required.
So have y'all seen folks on Twitch playing the crab game?
I have not.
Okay. So the crab game, I know you know this, though, Zycia, is basically the Squid Game. So this company or this developer in Norway created a game very, very similar to the Squid Game. If you have not yet seen the Squid Game on Netflix, it's a movie. It's fantastic.
It's a
You
show.
should absolutely watch it. A movie. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did say movies. Apologies. I've had a little bit to drink tonight. So definitely have to watch. Definitely have to watch. The premise of the Squid Game is that people are in serious debt and they say, okay, I'll go play this game. And they know that everybody's going to die. So only one person wins, but they have to play little kid games. So red light, green light, stuff like that. So this game, the creator also created the game Muck. Does basically the same thing, except the purpose of somebody winning isn't to like win all the money that the debtor should be receiving. It is just to like crush people. But they do play games like red light, green light, glass stepping stones, King of the Hill, hide and seek, stuff like that.
There's a good one where they don't necessarily tell you the rules of some of these games either. So they're in this large room. There's 4 teams. You're on different teams, and you have to run around and color, change the colors of the panels.
Yes,
And the team with the most colors or at least the team with the least amount of colors at a certain time gets eliminated. And what they see, like people are playing it and they're like not figuring out that like the panels on the side of the walls also change if you get close enough to them. And like you need to climb up this ladder to get these panels up and up because it's not just on the ground. So the teams that realize this end up doing pretty good.
Yeah, it looks super fun. I'm
down to play it.
cannot play. You should definitely play it. I will die round 1. It is a little bit buggy. They've got to work out some of those kinks. Like it was saying that people who won red light, green light of people
Weren't even on the field.
on the field, one red light, green light, stuff like that. Yeah.
Somebody was hovering over the floor as lava.
Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, yeah. And instead of being shot by a sniper, you just explode. But there is this, resting room. The difference between the red button there is in the movie or in the series, if you push the red button, it means you want to leave the game. In here, this game, it means you want to ready up. So it looks funny. It looks.
Are you ready?
I'm all about watching some people on Twitch play video games. We know this, so
yeah. But yeah, Squid Game's cool. If you haven't watched it on Netflix, definitely check it out. It's it's graphic for sure. So no spoiler there, but definitely graphic. But yeah, I mean it's a cool show, not for your kids, but for you, that you can check it out and see what people do when they get faced with certain consequences, I guess.
Yeah.
Play the crab game.
Play the
crab game.
So
and tell me what your Twitch handle is, and I'll watch it.
So the next thing that we were going to talk about today is a very interesting thing, especially for me and Kelly, who have children, and we saw an ad. My wife actually saw the ad and sent it to me and goes, "Hey, like, just look at this." No. And I was like, okay, sure. So I look at the video, and this thing's called Moxie. And what Moxie is a robot. It's a little, statue this big or so. It makes movements and it talks to you. And basically from the promotional video, what they show is that Moxie can talk to your child like, "Hey, I'm Moxie. I'm here to be your friend. Let's, hang out. Tell me what your name is." And it's like the little kid.
Your friend to the end.
Yeah, your friend to the end. The kid's like, I don't know, my name is Max or something. It's like, "Oh, hey, Max, like we're going to be best friends." And it goes through this whole scenario. And what you can find out is that like the parents can then control Moxie from their phone and suggest certain phrases and certain things to say. And initially it seems very like,
creepy.
Well, no, initially the idea,
Have you seen this thing?
The idea would be, I guess, for parents that have like an autistic child, someone with like a learning disability that maybe isn't willing to like just make new friends and do things. It can kind of help shape that mold of someone that can kind of get them, being a little more open. Except it does seem very creepy. And what's really funny is when I look at this thing and I think about sci-fi TV or movies, I instantly go, while watching the commercial, I'm like, oh, this is like Black Mirror. It's like, oh, this is like a kid has like a little toy, it's like his companion, they're going to fight, they're going to fly through space and do all this different stuff. And he's going to like help him out, whatever. Even like Teddy from like the game I played the other day, like his little teddy bear, same kind of thing. Right. But then I think, but this is real life, like now, not the future. And this little thing is going to talk to my child.
Georgie, why don't you put a knife in your mom's back?
I mean, literally, like what this thing makes me feel like. And I think it's really interesting because we are at a point where we are starting to see technology companies like this start creating these products that in a sci-fi movie or TV, this would seem great. But at the same time, I don't know if I'd want to give that for my child. Like, I don't know. I just couldn't see myself doing that.
No.
I know you had a good point though about parenting.
So I saw this pop up while watching some stuff with my daughters, and like a lot of times like we'll like to relax and watch Halloween DIY videos together. Always supervised,
June.
But
okay,
yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not a Halloween DIY video.
It's not on YouTube either, so you're good.
The making of.
Yeah.
You say it's not on YouTube. It probably is.
It probably is. You're right. You're right. So I saw this come up a couple of times, and I was like, I thought initially, to your point, Mike, I thought it was like a advertisement.
Yeah, like a trailer.
Movie.
I was waiting for like
and it was Halloweeny, so I was like, oh, this thing's gonna kill this kid, and I was like, oh, and then I realized, no, this is a real advertisement for a real thing, in a thing that's doing the things that parents are supposed to be doing. So
true.
The mom has an app, and in the app you can say, okay, teach my kid to, or have my kid, create something, create a picture and talk about their day. And to me, like, that's the thing a parent should be doing. If you are now outsourcing your parental duties and the mom just straight up walks out of the room. She's like, it is like a babysitter, apparently. And then she gets this note on her phone. Oh, mission accomplished. Oh, we did it. And then all of a sudden, her son brings her this card that he made for her. And it's just like, no, definitely no. Just no.
It's Moxie app. Download new modules. Teach my son the birds and the bees.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do that one.
No.
I mean, and that's what's really strange about this whole thing is, like I said, take the same scenario, put it into a TV or movie, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's obviously the kid's companion, because that's obviously who his best friend is. Like, it has zero negative vibe. But when you put it into like, now we're actually faced with like, oh, this is a real thing, and you're like, I don't know about that. Like, it just, like I said, the trailer looks like it's screaming like a horror film, because you're waiting for the thing to turn on us and like give a knife. Like, someone in chat just says Chucky. Like, we literally are waiting for that to happen, right? Like,
that's why we said friend to the end. That is Chucky.
So it's just like, it
Mom,
is.
Mom. Moxie told me to wrap it before I slap it.
Oh my God. But yeah, and the thing is, the dads over there going like, ha ha ha, yeah, he did it. I mean, it's like
mission accomplished.
Like, I don't know. It's interesting that we're getting to that point. Like, I'm cool with Internet of Things and like the technology of like all these. Like, I have a washing machine that tells me when the shit's dry now, and whatever.
Right.
And like, that's great. But like, I don't know if I want like.
Do you not change the diaper until the shit's dry? You'd need to change the diaper long before that, son. You're gonna get rashes.
No, not diaper. Dryer.
Well, you said when the shit's dry.
Yeah, that too though. Oh man. Anyway, it was just a very interesting thing I figured we'd bring up, because it was just, and if you guys are in chat, I just put the link in there. Feel free to check out the company.
Yeah,
I'm not bashing this company anyway. Like, I think the company has great aspirations, and like it's a great thing, like to do some sort of technology, this AI to like back that. I'm just thinking as a parent, like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. Like, and I'm all for the future. Like, I'm all for like the future of sci-fi and all this stuff, but that, it just seems like I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future.
All I know is, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's Jibo or whatever it was, Jibo, this robot who, by the way, had very similar dimensions and movement. It just didn't have a very realistic face. It really pretty much only had an eye, right? And it was the same thing. It talked to you, and it was about the same price. And it, like, interacted with you. And it was like it's very fun. Go out and look up the videos of Jibo when they turned off the servers. Yeah. Because it sent a message to the robot, and the robot says, well, it's been really fun, and they're going to be turning off my servers now, and our interactions are going to be a lot less now. And if you ever get a robot in the future, tell it hello from me, but can it do this? And it does this happy little dance, and it like shuts down. It's like Kelly was just saying, it's somebody wrote the script.
Yeah. So we think
it's not like the robot came up on its own. It's not a living thing. Like,
that's true.
But oh my God, when it does this, it actually is sad. And it's like, oh my God, it's like telling us about its own death.
Yes. Yeah. That was like, it was like, oh my God, it's dying.
It's seriously, the robot is extremely similar to Moxie.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, inspiration.
And think of how horrifying that could be for a kid. Like, let's say
Moxie shuts down. I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to play anymore.
Let's say Moxie shuts down, or let's say Moxie like falls off like a table or something in that video. In that it was on it, and like Moxie starts glitching. Like,
sorry, I'm bleeding from my face right now.
it is hard enough to tell a child about a real human being. I can't handle these sorts of accidents with nope. So.
And to be clear, Moxie absolutely connects to servers because to operate the robot, you have to pay a subscription.
Yeah.
So I'm not against it. I think it's kind of cool in some ways, and I think it has some uses. I do
for sure
wholeheartedly agree with Day Drinker and it being a surrogate parent and that being a problem. However, the same thing can be said about iPads. It is a progression and the TV and cartoon. Like, I mean, I've literally been hearing people say this for decades, but this is the most interactive and this is the most like live type person interactive thing yet.
Yeah.
So it is probably the closest to that actual reality we're talking about there. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's fascinating too. I'm loving it. Like I'm like that. It's not the zombie apocalypse we've got to worry about. It's gonna be the robot apocalypse.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually talking to a friend this past weekend that works for this company that he works at a warehouse and he's like part of IT and he controls the robots. And this whole factory is nothing but robots, like automated forklifts that control everything and make all of the packaging move and place things and ship and do all of that. And it's all robots. There's not a single person that works there that does any of the production. Like, and that's what he does all day. He just makes sure that the Wi-Fi works. That's what he's there to do, to make sure Wi-Fi works. So it's crazy. And like I said, and if you know somebody, if you or someone you know is using Moxie and want to tell us about it, send us an email because I would love to hear like their experience.
I'm very curious.
Because like I said, it is interesting. I'm cool with sci-fi, and I'm just not ready for that life yet. So it's just tell me about it.
Yeah.
He says this man is a shill for Skynet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's talking about you or me, but could be me. And don't get me wrong, when I say robot apocalypse, I don't necessarily mean the robots taking over. I mean people getting so in touch with the robots that when, like Kelly said, when they glitch out or freak out or do something weird, that they just do something because the robots.
Yes. Oh, because the robots.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
We'll see how this goes.
So kind of sweet, bittersweet, kind of sad if you go look at the Jibo stuff, that's for sure. This next one's very cute. There's this couple. They've been married, I believe, 57 years. 81-year-old Bruce and don't take umbrage with the name here. 79-year-old Karen.
She's an old Karen, so
she's not one of the new age Karens.
Yes.
They just were looking for something to spice up their life. And so they got into this new hobby and they were, they were finding that they just couldn't understand some things about this new hobby. So they took out a Craigslist ad as you do.
Yeah.
I guess. But we are talking about gaming here. They had actually purchased a PS4 Pro.
Wait, there's things to do on Craigslist other than. Okay, I'm confused.
Well, you can buy all kinds of things on Craigslist.
Oh,
yeah, I bought chickens on Craigslist.
I thought it was only for mixed connections. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's one of them. But no, they bought a PS4. They tried some different games on it, and they just kind of, again, as you do, you get down this rabbit hole on YouTube, and they stumbled upon AP Nerd's YouTube channel, and they saw high praise for this game, The Last of Us 2.
Oh.
And they said it wasn't very cartoony like what they had been playing, so they were very interested in it, and it was like supposed to be one of the better games, so they bought it. and they're trying to play it, and they just kind of laughed because they're like, okay, the cutscenes, yeah, but once we get out of the cutscenes, we don't know what to do. And we're like looking for like button presses of what to press. And Bruce is like, get off the horse, get off the horse. And so she presses a button, she gets off the horse, but then presses triangle again and gets right back on the horse. So literally, yes, they took out a Craigslist ad for someone that would have some patience with them, and show them a little bit about how to play these types of games.
I love this.
Yeah, it was a great Kotaku article, by the way. You should go check this out. It's a longer article and they go in a lot of detail, which is really cool. But yeah, so they said, we're not trying to be like these fantastic gamers. We just want to get a little bit better and to be able to enjoy this game and the experience that it is. So finally they did end up hooking up with a 21-year-old.
Nice.
Named Jesse, who goes by Weekend Feel.
Did he leave the keys?
A Weekend Feel?
Weekend Feel. Like seriously, this article just keeps getting better and better and better the more you read. But no, actually, no. He's once he was proved he was vaccinated and everything, they got together about once every couple of weeks for like 2 to 4 hours in-person sessions. And he because the reason why he found it is that the Craigslist ad got screenshotted and made its way to Reddit again, as it does. So r/PS4. And that's how Weekend Feel got involved, among other people, but they're the one that they chose. He's the one that they chose.
I bet they were like overwhelmed with like volunteers. Probably. Too.
They I think they were, but and they did literally interview them because they were looking for someone that was like, hey, you got to have a lot of patience. We're older. We're it's going to take us a little bit to figure this out and figure out what you're saying. And he says, he says the progress has gone up and down, but it's been steadily increasing. So that was really cool. And this is another great quote that Weekend Feel said that's in this article. Accessibility features are a huge godsend for Last of Us 2, and I'm shocked that not all games have these options by now. Things for like motion sickness and like navigation options. For those, listen, it's as easy it is for us to do like keyboard and mouse or left stick, right stick, and knowing like one's movement, one's looking around and having that 3-dimensional spatial awareness while you're doing it. That's because we've done this for years and years, and we started on like easier control schemes or different control schemes.
Well, we started when it was growing. Like I remember when I had the PlayStation controller, had the analog sticks at the bottom, you could push the button to turn them on. Because like you didn't have to use them. Like it was optional. It was new.
Right, and we've been through the evolution of it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And these two lovely human beings here are raising the next generation that are just going to learn these control schemes from the get-go. And they're going to evolve into the much more complex control schemes that are going to flummox us when we're in our 90s.
Yeah, he's on the Amazon Fire Stick now. He knows how to control.
Yeah, exactly.
My girls are doing the same thing, and so we've got the NES Classic, the Mini. And I think I was telling you guys earlier. We've been playing Zelda 2, and I'm trying to teach them like you got to jump, but you got to be facing the right direction. You got to be, shooting your arrows in the right direction, or stabbing in the right direction. So
nice.
Yeah.
So proud.
It goes from there because they started getting better at the game, and as you get a little further into Last of Us 2, which is a revenge story, Eddie was kind of taken aback a little bit. And this is a man who has 22 years of combat experience.
Oh.
And he was like taken aback on how violent the game was. Bruce, not Eddie. yet, he still went through it, and Jesse's been hasn't been able to join him as much, so he's been like finding new ways to do it. He's been giving Bruce YouTube videos to study.
There you go.
And Bruce
Find
says, I've
anything on
enjoyed
YouTube.
watching these walkthroughs to the point that I've probably seen about 50 of them so far. I'm seeing all kinds of stealth killings that Ellie does. And I think to my head, wow, the guy playing this game is really talented. It makes the game look like a real video. It's so smooth. It's really neat, the kind of evolution of this couple during this whole article here. Highly recommend you go and check it out.
Was it you that showed me the video of a guy testing like D&D, and he got this old guy to play? Was it you that showed me that video? I guess not. So there was some video I watched, and I can't remember all the details. I have to look it up, but it was like a test run of some sort of D&D campaign that this guy was trying to run, and I think it may even been like the basic of the actual game itself. And he got this old guy to like sit down at the table, and he was like, okay, like really old dude, like 80 something. And they were kind of like, great, like obviously this is going to be hard. And he obviously never played anything before. And he sat down at the table, he started playing with them. And like the guy who's talking, I guess, is the guy who created it. I can't remember exactly. I have to find the video and put it in a link or something, but like he's the one talking about this game experience. And he said this guy came in and he started like, trying to figure out things. And the other guys in the team were like, oh, this is going to suck. We're going to lose this battle. Like, this isn't going to work. And he basically comes in and starts like, he's like, wait, so I'm like a commander? And he's like, yeah, you're like the commander. And he's like, okay, so I have multiple platoons. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, well, platoon A needs to go here. Platoon B needs to go here. What kind of ammunition do they have? Do they have any munitions? Are they able to have grenades? And he's like, well, yeah. He's like, all right, well, platoon A throws a grenade, and platoon B is going to move up. And then, like, basically he starts having this battle, and then the DM's just like, holy crap, like, this is...
Yeah,
what
that's pretty cool.
And it turns out that guy was basically a retired Army vet from, like, World War II or something. And he was like, this is, like, it kind of just set back into his ways of, like, what he remembered, and was able to, play the game perfectly well, but just, using the theater of the mind. So it was just pretty cool. Anyway.
No, that's actually really awesome. I'll have to go look that up. It's similarly along the same vein. If anyone has time to look up, there is a Twitter account on a grandma that plays D&D. And she's been playing D&D for like 2 years now. She's like late 80s, early 90s or something like that. And it's her and her kids and her grandkids and extended family. Like there's like 9 of them around the table, and they play it on a regular basis. And
That's cool.
It like when she rolls a 20, she same as anyone else. She's just like, yeah, Oops, sorry, kitty. I did have a cat in my lap, no longer.
Ow.
So this next story is, if also you're not living under a rock, which I'm sure that most people already know this. Speaking,
this is online, so this I know about.
So Facebook has now changed their name. So obviously we could go into an hour worth of conversation of things that have happened to Facebook over the last couple of years. The last year, based on a bunch of things I don't even want to get into. But they changed their new name to Meta. And the purpose of Meta is basically the metaverse, which is based on like Snow Crash, which I'm sure Brian could get into a whole discussion on just that itself. But it talks about the metaverse, and if familiar with like Ready Player One, having like the Oasis where everybody can plug in and kind of just live in this, general world. But it all comes kind of back to like that initial, thing it described, the metaverse described like Snow Crash. It's a book if you're not familiar.
Thank you. Snow Crash. Yes.
So the purpose of they changed their name, obviously they're having a lot of issues recently with, Cambridge Analytics selling out their data and a lot of other, things going on. Also with the Oculus, which they purchased back in a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2019, I think it was. But basically, so that's what's happening. So they did recently just say that the Oculus...
At Verizon, we are investing $3 billion.
Oh, good. Oculus Quest.
Now for ad break.
The Oculus Quest devices no longer require Facebook accounts. So when the Oculus was purchased by Facebook,
it's a Meta account now.
Right. As Facebook was purchased, or they purchased Oculus, that you had to basically, in order to use it, to use the apps that you purchased through the Oculus, you'd have to sign with a Facebook account. There have been people online that talked about ways to get around that, but it's basically side loading like some other hardware or other software to get it to run, and you can play third-party apps. But then again, you're not like actually using their apps, and it's just a weird kind of structure. But so that was announced recently. But they also announced that they're also shutting down their facial recognition software, which to me is a lot bigger than what people may think. So, and it was interesting because I saw this article, it was posted on Reddit. Obviously, that's where I usually lurk, right? But it was, the article is basically, they've decided that, it's time to shut down the facial recognition software for your safety, because your
our safety,
your privacy and everything like that. But recently an article got released due to some whistleblowers that they were actually targeting, after the teens kind of left Facebook, they were targeting like 6-year-olds to get on Facebook. And because of all of that stuff kind of coming out, they decided that, well, they didn't say this, but this is kind of what's speculated, is that they're trying to remove all of the facial, because they're also saying they're deleting all of this information, right? All this facial recognition stuff, because they have all of this data that's been populated over so many years of tracking all these different age ranges, which is typically like, I don't know what law it is, but you can't like show children's faces and stuff like that online and use them for like monetary value, because it's against law. So there's a lot of things that are kind of like aligned with this, which is kind of interesting. See that like they're like, oh yeah, for your safety, we're deleting everything. But at the same time, we're hearing these other things kind of coming out now. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. I figured I'd bring it up.
Did you see that there's already a company with the trademark of Meta?
There is, yes. There is another software company that already has the trademark of Meta. And the only thing I read about that was the icon essentially is an infinite symbol. Like it's what it really kind of is. So it's going to be kind of hard to fight the symbol as far as their logo is concerned. But the fact that they were a software company named Meta,
Meta PC,
there is a little bit of some kind of like, justification there. They could potentially, go to court and battle that. Which,
well, they're a pre-existing PC company, and they're asking for $20 million for rebranding.
Yeah, and that's what they said. Yeah, like they're willing to part ways if Facebook decides to pay them. But with that too, it's like, do they want to pay them? Sure, they probably will, because why not? It's Facebook, if that's really what they want. So anyway, that was pretty amazing. But also, the last part, I kind of stuck this in there too, just because of Facebook. But what's funny is because they're now Meta, but yet they have this whole other entity, this brand that they have created, which is called Facebook Gaming. And I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't seen any articles on this of them rebranding that to Meta Gaming, which is also kind of funny to say. But what happened recently is Facebook Gaming is actually taking an aim at like companies like Twitch, because Twitch is like the most popular, making huge offers to streamers to stream on their platform. And I'm not talking about like me and you kind of thing, but the idea is right now Twitch offers.
First of all, we are huge streamers. First of all, sure. So let's just set the record straight.
So
just so everybody knows.
So right now, currently on Twitch, the way that they pay you is you get 50% of any subs that you get. Any subscriptions that somebody subs to you, you get 50% of that. So $5 sub, you get $250. And then plus your taxes and all that stuff when you file for the end of the year. What Facebook Gaming is going to do until I think the 5th, maybe tomorrow or the 7th or something like that, or the 15th, I don't know, sometime in November, they're going to offer 100%. So basically you get all of the money based on these subscriptions if you were to sign up by a certain time and agree to the the terms of service and things like that.
So we're taking the deal.
We'll talk about that later. So, but yeah, it was interesting to see that because, and like I said, the main reason I put this in here was because it's still Facebook Gaming, even though we've already switched to Meta. But since they kind of built this brand as a separate entity,
switched to Meta?
Yeah, they did. We did.
You said we switched to Meta.
Yeah, we're Meta now. So
shit.
That was it was interesting to see.
What the hell else did I miss?
It's interesting to see what we're gonna do with branding as far as
I feel like Rip Van
Facebook.
Winkle or Pickled.
Oh, you feel like Pickle Rick.
No, the dude that fell asleep in the pickle brine for 100 years.
Oh, whatever. Who knows? So, and it's funny.
That's McFarlane.
What the hell's going on?
I'm not
chat.
that out.
So Goomba Turkey makes a good point. He said, "How well did that do for Mixer?" Enter something about being the first in the market, and it is true because we've talked about Mixer in the past too. We were actually, broadcasting when Mixer went down. We were like freaking out, like what the heck's going on? But no, it's the same thing as Microsoft had Mixer, and they tried to capitalize that market of Twitch, which they thought by doing large like streamer presence like Shroud and like Ninja and having them come in and like be these people, but they paid them lots and lots of money. Unfortunately,
yes,
they were not large enough to really back that sort of money, even though a lot of streamers did move to Mixer. Eventually, it just didn't work out for their business plan. But we have definitely agreed there should be someone else other than just Twitch that's like a priority of either YouTube or Facebook or even Trovo we're using. There's many different avenues out there, but I think, obviously it's better to have competition. It's always good to have multiple avenues of different companies doing things a little different. So
you say that now, but 3 years from now, when Tencent is going to be like the biggest streaming company for some
Tencent
reason,
owns Trovo.
Oh shit!
You're welcome.
You'd be like, our Chinese overlords.
Yeah, that's basically it. So anyway, that is the news for the day. Give us just a few minutes here. We're going to top off our drinks and, do the whole thing that we do usually when you guys are listening to the podcast and you're an ad. Think about us probably behind the scenes, making a drink, laughing.
And we're back. Shut up, Mike. Stop it.
You literally did that joke like last week.
I hate ASMR.
It's fun every time. Every time it's fun.
It's not fun.
It is fun every time.
Oh my god. Okay. We need to stop this.
Who wants a fourth track?
We need to stop this. Okay, so
don't forget, for every Superman, there's a kryptonite.
That's a
I
true
can't
story.
wait to find yours.
Oh God, mine are easy.
So what we've been playing this week?
Donate Table Gamers here.
Oh yeah, that needs to be disabled.
We need to. So if anybody's
let it up. I mean, if
watching us live,
the campaign is
year round.
The campaign's
Sorry,
over.
Kelly.
No, it's not.
It is.
So if anybody's watching us live, Able Gamers is the organization that we donate to for Shocktober. Shocktober is when we try to get Mike to shit his pants by playing video games that he does not like to play. The last game
which is okay because he has a machine that tells him when the shit's dry.
Yeah, apparently he's got an app for that. So during every Friday in the month of October, he plays a game that we pick out and he doesn't like, and sometimes
I liked it better when I picked the games. I wasn't as scared.
Yeah. We got that. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that because it's almost like we have a slot that needs to be filled now.
Ooh, yes.
That probably came out wrong.
That didn't.
That was a Disney quote.
That was a Disney quote. Yes. And it's almost like that we should come up with a date to start doing Gifted.
Oh, we haven't talked about Gifted. So
you have talked about Gifted on this before.
Have I? I don't remember.
Yes.
So Gifted.
Clearly, like everything that you don't remember.
If you don't know what we're talking about, Gifted is something we're going to start in November because it's Thanksgiving. It's
November.
It's gifting. Gifting people stuff. We're going to have a series. We're going to all four play a game that one of us has gifted the other person. And we're going to record this. We're not going to stream it live, but we're going to record it live. And what we're going to do is basically have it to the point where the person sees the game show up in their inventory, and then the reactions, and then everything going through playing these games. The idea is anything that's under $5. So if you want to send suggestions for us, feel free to do that. All of our certain types of games we like, and what we also hate. So feel free to send those submissions over. I've already got a few that I want to do for either Brian or Kelly. I think actually Demiran's the first one I have one for, at least my suggestion. But the idea is we're going to be recording those. We'll release 4 of those videos this month, and it'll be great. But back to what Kelly was saying with Shocktober. Yes. Shocktober ended on Friday, this past Friday. And we were able to raise over $800 this past time, thanks to you out there listening and you are attending, watching, or whatever. Thank you guys so much. It means really a lot to us. Like I said, we don't make any of this money. It's 100% proceeds go to Able Gamers. It's just really neat to say, that we helped a kid, be able to enjoy video games like we do. So we really appreciate you guys. And it sucked for me, but I'm okay with it because of the outcome. Yeah, super cool. But because of that, I did agree if we did make the goal, which our goal was 750. Since we surpassed that, I would play one more time. So this Friday, I thought I didn't want to play Phasmo, and now I do, because some of the games they did find that they hadn't mentioned before are actually sounding more terrible to me than Phasmophobia. So I'm kind of hoping
the devil
we just go back
the
that
devil you don't, right?
So I don't know. But the idea is I will be playing something else this Friday. We will announce that via Twitter, so you guys can pay attention to that, and we'll be doing it one more last hurrah as an encore, saying thanks to you guys out there that did help us out. And even if you just participated, even if you didn't donate, it's really cool. We appreciate that. So but yeah, that was last Friday, and until next year, we up I think the goal next year be 1,000. I think we should just go for the 1,000 and go for there. But Kelly, what did you so Kelly, you hosted Game of the Moment. So
I did host Game of the Moment. So Game of the Moment was my very favorite game, What Remains of Edith Finch. It was a game that my friend Adam had told me about well over a year ago, that I played on my brother's Xbox that he gifted me. Thanks, T.
Gifted, see, we're going back to the November.
Gifted. It is a first-person exploration game. It's like a walkthrough. It's puzzly. It is very narrative. So it actually won the Game Award for Best Narrative Game and BAFTA Games Best Game in 2017 or 2018. Sorry, I have to sneeze if my eyes are watering.
Oh my
god. Forgive me. So sorry. My nose burns so bad right now. It's not gonna happen.
We were entertained.
You went full on like prom. Like
I did. I'm so sorry. She was like, yeah. I was like, I could see myself in the camera. And I was like, I'm not crying. So
she just got prom queen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's my favorite game because it's a very beautiful game. The visual effects, the visual art within it is gorgeous. I played it on an Xbox One originally, with a controller, and when I played it on Tuesday, I played it with mouse and keyboard, so it would be a different experience for me. And one thing I did notice is on PC, one of the things I could do on the Xbox One with the controller was I could pick up like cans of soup, and I could pick up books and stuff, and that was not something that I could do on PC. So that all that aside, it was still a great game, because I knew how to play the game already. Figuring out the bits and pieces, figuring out some of the puzzles was quicker. I moved through the game much quicker than I did the first time I played through.
And I think that was a point that Brian made, was that he could tell that obviously you knew because you played the game before, and I knew because I'd played the game before. but they were not. They don't explain how to, because like I said, these aren't like puzzles. You're not like walking into a room and it says like, oh, here's a puzzle, and you have to slide. There's like a wall where you slide things back and forth. It's not like that. It's very like a visual, almost like investigation kind of work that you have to figure out, and they don't explain that at all. You just have to start clicking on things, and then you realize that like one thing leads to another, and then all of a sudden like you're opening a panel and you're like, what the heck's going on? And that's a lot of the, to me, and I hate to just kind of steal that from you, but it's kind of like that's what to me I really enjoyed about that game is the fact that like it was just a new experience. If you haven't played it before, like the first time you play it, you're like, wow, this is like really neat. So I don't know.
And the sounds in the game, there's beautiful music. There are different sounds that attract you to different places. You're opening up cabinets and you're seeing other pieces of the family's history. So you are a girl going back to the home that your family owns, and each person had their own room, and they're all dead, and their story is in each one of these rooms, and to get into these rooms can be precarious. So you don't necessarily know how to get in. What you think what you think you should do is typically the wrong thing. Not the wrong thing, but they definitely take you on an adventure. It was a really fun game. So if you haven't played it,
it's a really cool game, and it really I hate to even say, because we're at that point now where games are not just games. They're experiences. There's also like movies at one point, like, and that's kind of where we're at. Like this is more of like an experience, almost side movie that you're just kind of interacting with, which to me is really neat, because sometimes you just want to be able to do things like that and really just be able to enjoy an experience that you're just not. And it makes a really good job of that. Like as I said that earlier on the stream, was that if you're familiar with the Netflix series Lock and Key, it reminds me a lot of that. And this was, like I said before, I think this is before Lock and Key even came out, but it just reminded me of that. Because like one of the main characters of Lock and Key is a girl, and she's like a teenager, and like she kind of sounds to me like that same girl. And it was like kind of following this path of like this hidden history of like someone's family that we just didn't know. And she's also uncovering it as time goes on too. So it was really neat. I really recommend it for anybody who's wanting just a neat experience, because it's definitely a really cool game.
And I love games that you don't die at. So even these puzzle games, like you don't necessarily start over, but you definitely can advance, and the mechanics of each puzzle is different. So Limbo is one of my very favorite games, and the mechanics, like you are this little boy and you are going to jump, and this is how you jump, and this is how you shift, and this is what you do. But with this, the mini games or puzzles in this game, the mechanics are constantly different, and they switch up on you in the middle of the game. So one of the very first ones, we were a cat, jumping up, and so those keys and those buttons on your controller are different, and then you suddenly turn into a shark, and swimming is different, and like you run out of breath, and you can't spurt, and then you turn into spurt. I shouldn't have said that. I'm so
It's
sorry.
almost like that one
Run out of
word
breath
that starts with an
and
M.
spurt.
What's that word with
That's
the M,
not
Brian?
nearly as gross as the M word.
No, but there was the owl. And that's a totally different.
I know this
set.
sounds like we're saying a bunch of animals and stuff and names, but like literally, so our game of the moment, she played for about an hour, which really only goes through like 3 of the probably 12 different lives. So go check it out. It's a great, like, if you want spoilers, if not, just play it. I would just recommend play it. But if you want to see a little bit about what it's about, Kelly did a great job of just like kind of like playing through a game, unlike what I do, where I just like run to the end, because most of these are scary and I hate them. So she actually does a good job of like, kind of looking at everything and really talking about it, watching the story, which is, how she likes to play games. So,
I knew a little bit about this game from peripherally hearing about it. over the years. I think I was probably most blown away by the artwork and the changing art styles.
Yeah.
Because like it's too much of a thing where you play a game and there's a palette for the game. And throughout the entire game, you're staring at the same like 17 colors, basically, with various shades in those colors.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of the reason why I like Fortnite, because just there's all this color all over the place. But this was a lot of color, a lot of personality in each of the rooms, showing the personality of the person who had lived in that room. And then the art style would just completely, when you were the animals, it was even kind of changing art styles a little bit there. There was a comic book section that was, you were like in the same house in the comic, and it was all cell shaded, and it just looked great. And that was just a couple of sections I saw. I would imagine that, if they're going to do that, they probably did it several more times.
Yeah, it's a really awesome experience. I'll just say, like, it's hard to say it's a game. And I mean, even for like the writers and the development team to just say it's a game is really not giving it justice, really, because it's not just
it's an interactive story.
It's an interactive story for sure. So.
And it's an interesting story. Yeah. I mean, it's just as intriguing and interesting as a novel, except for you get to move around and you get to discover it.
Yeah.
And you get to do different mechanics to discover it, and which is where it becomes a game. And I know I get where you were going from too, Mike, but yeah, I liked it.
It's a lot of fun. I recommend anybody play it. Like,
what did we say it was on Steam? It's part of Game Pass.
Yeah, it's free on Game Pass. But $19.99 on Steam. I think you can get it everywhere now too. I think you can even get it on Switch.
If I haven't mentioned this before, there's a website called Is There Any Deal? So if you don't want to spend the full price for every single game every time, you can go to Is There Any Deal? IsThereAnyDeal.com, and you can actually set up filters and things, and it'll scan every website that has keys for different games and let you know when they're on sale. So,
although please, if you're going to do that, try to use some of the more known sites. And a lot of people will be like, oh, Green Man Gaming, I know about that. Well, the trouble is Green Man Gaming got a name for itself because what they would do is they would take advantage of currency changes and they would buy Steam keys in a country where it's purposely discounted because of exchange rates.
Oh.
And they would bring those keys back and then sell them to you for less. And that actually hurts the developer.
I didn't know that.
Game Pass doesn't. The developer that gets on Game Pass, for every download, they get a decent chunk.
Yeah. I mean, definitely pay for the game. Definitely give the developer, their justice.
Now, granted, this was years ago. Green Man Gaming maybe cleaned up their game, as it were. Research at least. Research and see, like, is the developer getting ripped off by this or not? And then, to the best we can tell, and because I'm all for cheap and free games, but we don't get games like that unless the developers get paid somehow.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else, Kelly, for that before I?
Nope.
Okay.
Definitely play it. It's a beautiful game.
Did you play anything else?
Okay,
Kelly?
everybody get comfortable.
Nope, I did not.
Brian, did you play anything else?
No, I just said everybody get comfortable.
All right, I just want to make sure before I roll on.
I have
no short news. This is going to be all.
So I'm going to touch on this really quick. Shocktober, Phasmophobia. I did play Phasmophobia single player. And again, I already went through the whole thank you guys so much.
Should I do the other game music for him?
No, please.
No. Oh, yeah.
I could just give you Zycia, the track, which my name came from. But anyway, so Phasmophobia was great. I played single player and I played nightmare mode, which are two of the new things that were added in the last few updates. Nightmare mode being the most recent update, and single player like the second update ago. And I will say, I feel, and they haven't even heard my opinion yet because I haven't talked to them really about this, other than the fact that Kelly crawled on my floor in full makeup and then scared me. Something like that.
We'll have
to clip that eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I will say, I think I felt more terrified playing as a group before than playing single player mode in Nightmare.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason I say that is, and I think I kind of figured it out, is because for one, Nightmare mode is a lot harder, and the issue with that is you have certain equipment that requires you to place things down and then go back to the van and then watch the footage or whatever, like the camera. If you set the camera up, it points, and then you can go back and see if there's like orbs. Or if you have the spirit box, you carry that around with you. And usually we have like multiple people doing multiple things. One with the spirit box, one with the thermometer, one with like the camera, doing these different things. And as a person by yourself, you have to do it all. So it's really hard to, for one, cover the ground, even if it's a small house, like cover the ground and then be able to really take on all of these jobs, if you would say, right? And look at the monitors, which in Nightmare mode, 2 of the monitors are broken, which conveniently is the haunt monitor. So how much of the haunting is happening, what level they're on. And the other one is the sanity. So of course the 2 that I usually sit by and wait, and I'm like, yep, not going inside right now. Hey guys, I'm just going to be in the van. So all these things are happening, but you're having to go in by yourself and try to figure out like what's going on. And that kind of took away the ability for me to like really feel like I was immersed, because I was more thinking it was a job. Like I had to literally go inside, drop something, run back outside, pick something up, come back inside, drop something off, and like focus on that rather than focus on the actual scare and that feeling of like anxiety that I have when I usually play with a group, because usually it's a group, everybody has their job. I have the flashlight and I'm here walking around with the thermometer and I'm just checking things out. And I hear people next to me talking, I hear people on the radio talking, but yet I'm still just by myself. And I don't know, it is a different sort of feel to it. The single player, the difference is they actually adjusted some of the way the ghost mechanics work, so they don't target as a group. Like they kind of focus on one person, but they don't like home in on you and just come in like the whole time. But Nightmare mode makes it a lot harder because there is no setup time. So there's no setup time. There's no there's no filter. Essentially, you walk in, it's out to kill you, and the haunts get faster and faster like every time. Which would be great. I think Nightmare mode
broken already.
Yeah, like Nightmare mode would probably not be bad for a group. Like if we all 4 wanted to play, it wouldn't be bad because it would give us that little more like realism, I guess, to it. But at the same time, it kind of took away from what, to me, the special sauce that Phasmophobia has. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I think it was, to me, scarier when I usually play with a group. And I know you guys are probably like, oh, you're full of shit. You're just wanting us to play with you. And I get that. But I've had, I mean, if you look at my highlight reels from last year, like the one scare that I still to this day I'm like freaked out about was the one I put in that video. Was we were in the locker room at the high school and I turned to my left and like I looked to my left and the dude's just like standing like right here and he just like kind of looks at me and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, fuck, and I like freak out and I literally stopped playing that day. I was like, all right, I'm done. We're done. We're done here. We're
all good.
Here. So,
Set.
Anyway, really cool.
There's times like that it's just scary that they're sitting there and looking at you.
Yeah, rather than running at you with a knife or something.
Actually stalking and killing you. Yeah. Really quick, I take back what I said about Green Man Gaming. I looked it up. They've actually been telling you where they source their keys from, and many times it's from the publisher, and they've been doing that since 2015. So my data was really, really old. So GMG is good to go.
Hey, well, that's cool. I mean, it did happen.
GMG
It wasn't like you just made it up. I mean, you did hear that at some point. That was a thing. So
yeah. But I mean, it is a good thing to research. If you see somebody doing real cheap Steam keys
Yeah.
And research it.
And to piggyback off of that, if you see us tell you things that are incorrect, like please let us know. Like we will mention it later. Send us an email or prove it to us and send us an email and send us links. And we'll definitely come out and say, hey, we're wrong. We're sorry. Because I mean, we're not here to fabricate and make up things. Like we're literally here to try to like talk about the things that we've read and we think are interesting or whatever. But definitely, let us know. So thank you, chat.
At least research it.
Yeah. Thank you, chat, for this one. Because that definitely helped out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave that with Phasmophobia. I don't know if I'll play it again this Friday or not. We'll see. But that it was a really cool thing.
You're not.
Maybe I will. Maybe they'll be interested. They want me to play it again.
No, you're not. No. I put that out there, and you were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Well, I have this game," and he was like, "Yeah, Phasmophobia, totally." I was like, "No."
All right. So I am on a job hiatus at this point. I am not working
on vacation
currently. I'm on vacation. I am living the dream, as you would say. Some would say for the next
job hiatus for another
week and a half or
week
something.
in
couple days.
One day.
Yeah. So obviously it was funny. We were setting up the show today, and I looked at the show notes that we have in our OneNote that we use, and and Brian gets to the what we've been playing, and he goes, well, obviously somebody's have a lot of free time. It's almost like someone's not working. It's like a list of games that I've been playing because I'm trying to catch up. I'm like really trying to catch up. And unfortunately, actually, today was the first day to catch up because of my child going to the Peachtree Dish that he lives in currently during the week. He picked up another variant of something and was with me all week. So he'd been kind of just hanging out with dad all week and, watching all kinds of stupid things on Plex or whatever. But anyway, so he actually was cleared today, went to the doctor, he went to school and or academy, as we said. And so I got to start catching up on some games. And so I played, it's funny. And this is to me was the interesting thing. And I'll talk about this one game first, which is Unpacking, and then I'll get to the other two. But so Unpacking, here's where Mike doesn't stop talking. Yeah, exactly. So Unpacking is a game that's available through the subscription of Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, if you have it. And I read the description and I said, I don't know if I like that, but maybe. And I told my wife about this description, and she goes, why don't you do that around here? And the description was basically like taking items and putting them away. And
I need somebody in my family to play that.
So
3 people.
And I was like, yeah, but this is virtual. It's a different scenario. So Unpacking is a really neat game. It's a point and click type of adventure essentially. But you click on.
I saw this and I wanted to play it.
And I didn't want to, but I did, and I played it because the guilty pleasure or whatever. So I click on it. So like you click on different boxes, and every time you click on a box, you get a random item from this box that you don't know what it is. They're the same. Anybody that plays the game, you're going to see the same items in the same order. I'm pretty sure. Like I don't think it's variant or anything like that, but you literally so you start in a room, you have a box, you click the box, it opens up, you have the packing peanuts in it, you pull the thing out, and it's like a stuffed animal, and you're like, okay, well, you set it on the counter, and it's like, oh, now it's a Game Boy. All right, well, the Game Boy, put that over here. Oh, now it's a book. We put the book, and you go through this whole box until it's empty, and then you go through all these different size boxes. But like many people who pack and have moved before, you guys understand, you don't typically pack everything in a box that's supposed to be in the box because things happen. You're like, oh crap, put that in a box, put that in here. So as you go through this box in your room, this is bedroom stuff. Yeah, it's all bedroom stuff.
Cleaver in here.
Right. Then you're like, oh crap, that needs to go to the kitchen.
Cleaver in your bedroom?
Yeah.
I mean,
under my pillow for sure, which is funny because you can actually lift the pillow. But anyway, so you can do all of these things, and you have these random items that you find in different boxes that don't necessarily belong there, so that it kind of turns into this puzzle game where there's only so much surface space to put things, and then you have to kind of figure out where things fit. So it was a really neat game, but the cool part about this is it's almost like one of those like a house flipper or pressure washer simulator.
Just
where
about to say
these
that.
it's all these games where you get to put things away and make things clean or make them a certain way that you want, and you can do that. But at the same time, it's also about like the unpacking of like the little puzzle game where you move a truck and then you move the car behind it and try to like get the car to the end because you're trying to like set everything up that makes sense. So it's really neat. I will say I didn't need to finish it.
It also kind of tells a story in this one,
It
whereas
does.
Pressure Washer is just pressure washing stuff.
Yeah, there is a story. There
Like it's not a story so much as words are showing up, but there's a through connection with this.
So I got through probably 5 different scenarios, and it's basically like you said, there's a story. But it's I don't want to spoil it because like I literally saying anything about it would just kind of give it away. But it's a very cute game, very like I said, as easy as it was, like my hand hurt. Like my everything hurt
because of the game.
Because I was clicking the whole time.
I've been off work for a week. My hand hurt because of the game.
Anyway, so really cool game. Check it out, Xbox Game Pass.
Listen,
I don't know what it is
Kelly,
on
I know you're not a
Steam.
guy. That doesn't make your hand hurt. That's more of like a tennis elbow thing.
Oh.
You know, because of the repetitive motion.
Know.
It's $19.99 right now on Steam, so check it out. It's a really cool game. And like I said, Xbox Game Pass, it is included with that. I'll put the link in the chat right now so you guys can have it. But really cool game. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll probably go back and finish it. I don't think there's gonna be that much longer than what I played, but and the next part that I'm getting to, and I say the next part because I did play 2 different games that are related to the same thing. One I played for probably 10 minutes. The other I've been playing for now a few hours, which will probably end up leading into a game of the moment next week.
Oh Lord!
But I figured, I'm on vacation, right? "Quote unquote" vacation. And what most people do when they take vacation is go fishing, right? Like you're gonna go fishing. So that's just a thing you do. And I decided that I was gonna go fishing, but I don't want to like actually get a boat and actually get a fishing pole and get stuff and bait and touch worms and crickets. I don't want to do that. So
cold and it rained this week.
Yeah. So I don't want to do any of that. So my father-in-law is probably going like, dude, we'll go right now. Like,
you go fishing?
Yeah,
I got all the shit.
he's like out every day. Like it's fun. But no,
he's like, and the rain's the best time to go because when it's rain out and the fish are close to the surface. That's the best time to go fishing, son.
Yeah. Except he's from the north, so it's always cold, and he's like down anytime. Doesn't matter.
So ice fishing.
He does whatever. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Every day's a good day, right? So I played
ice fishing
a really
great way to keep your beer cold.
Yeah. So I did play a realistic simulator because why not? I played Bassmaster Fishing 2022 just to see how it felt. Just to see.
Bassmasters.
I got through the tutorial. That's about as far as I got, which, like I said, it was about 10 to 15 minutes long. And I realized
typing that into Steam, because if you miss a letter, you'll get a completely different game.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I basically got to it. Basically, I started playing this other game, which I'll talk about in a second, and I was like, man, I wonder what it feels like to play something a little more realistic. And then I got to this one, and I was like, yeah, that's a little too realistic. Let me tone it back a notch. And it really was. So Bassmaster Fishing, like it starts off the tutorial. It shows you like you have to, drive the boat literally out to this part of the lake, and you get up on top of the boat and you fish and you cast your line.
Radar thing.
Yeah, with the radar, you cast your line. You have to adjust the line, like pull it in, reel it in as fast as you can, and you catch a fish. You have to hook it, and like you even get snagged into like the garbage at the bottom. Like you have to like break your line sometimes. You can adjust. Yeah, it's like realistic, and it's almost like the farming simulator that I played. And I was like, wow, this is like too much like farming.
Wait, you played the farming simulator?
Yeah, I did.
Didn't know this.
Oh, I did, and it was terrible.
Oh yeah, back in the day,
it was
that was early in season 1.
That was terrible. I was like, oh god, this is way too realistic.
We talked about farming, the newer farming simulator.
No, there's rodeo or not rodeo, but it was ranch simulator, which I still want to purchase potentially. But anyway, so I went there far, and I was like, I don't want to be
Just wait till Gifted.
Yes.
I don't want to be this far. So I actually played another game before that. And this one I do want to talk about for a minute. It's called, and this will probably be the game of the moment on Tuesday. And I say probably because I haven't confirmed that completely yet, but I'm going to make them listen to me hopefully, and we'll see what happens on Tuesday. This game is called Moon Glow Bay. And Moon Glow Bay is a really neat little game that's obviously an indie developer. It looks sort of like Minecraft in the sense of everything's blocks. Even the people are like blocked, like his beard is like blocky and stuff. One thing I will point out in this game is woke. The developer's woke. So I was like kind of impressed when I first started it. Because you start the game and it says like name your character. You type in your character name. And it's like, what is your pronoun? Is it he, her, or they? And I was like, oh. So I select mine. And then it's like, what's your partner? What's your partner's name? And you type in the name and it's like, which character is your partner? And then what's their pronoun? And I was like, wow, okay, here we are. This is 2021. We're playing this. And what you find out is you basically are a fisherman that has had a business, fishing and selling fish to the like different meals and fish to the different community. And something has happened to your partner and they've disappeared. And you are like
this just took a dark turn.
Yeah, and something's happened, and it's like a couple years later, I think, as far as I remember, because I'm terrible at remembering things. But basically, there is a dog. You can pet the dog. By the way, I'll show you that. You can
pet the dog.
Wait, whoa! You can't do a twist like that. You said your partner disappears, and you can pet the dog. Couple years later. Yeah. Oh, and you can pet the dog.
Yeah, and I got all giddy.
So it's great.
I saw pictures of this on Game Pass because it is on Game Pass, and I just saw fishing boats, and I was like, okay, it's another fishing thing he's going to talk about. And then now you just said that, and then you moved on to petting the dog.
So the idea is kind of,
so it's a fishing mystery.
It's kind of like that. So there's the best way to describe it to me is like Overcooked mixed with Stardew Valley. Essentially, because with dog petting, because you have, and like I said, I'll show you all this, but you have a town that basically this certain thing happened, and a couple years ago, around the same time your wife disappeared, but the town is basically in shambles, and
we were actually going back in time for a minute. I was like, oh my god!
And the town is in shambles, and you're here to save the town. And by doing that is by fishing, because you were like the fisherman that everybody bought fish from and bought their meals from. And so,
not according to Bassmaster Fishing 2022.
Yeah. So you basically go out and you fish, and you come back to your house and you prepare meals out of these fish, and that's where it turns into like the chopped. Or the Overcooked, and you have different like little mini games to play to prepare certain dishes, and you can take those and like sell them to the group to make different shells, which is your currency. But the whole town has, everybody that's there is like, hey, make me this meal, or like, hey, there's like the mystery, like here's a quest for you to go do, find me this type of fish, or find me this type of thing, or hey, actually clean up the beach because like the beach is terrible. And there's different things like that. And I will say I played a lot of it. Probably the first 2 hours of the game is really just like kind of, wetting your whistle, kind of getting the things going and trying to learn the different parts of the aspect of the game. But then once I actually unlocked the boat, then the game became a lot larger because you could actually, all of a sudden your map like zooms out and you're like, oh. And I don't want to go into too much about it other than that, but it's a really neat game if you're into something very chill. And disclaimer, I may have a new video coming out to kind of be a sequel to Who's Got the Best Wood. Just saying it here first.
Shit.
But it's a really neat game that's a very relaxing type of fishing game. And with a neat little story, and I would check it out. $19.99 on Steam, and it's also free or included in the subscription for Xbox Game Pass. So that is it. I will leave you with that, and we can move on. Actually, with this really crappy joke. That was good too. That was fishing. See, crappy. Oh, so what do you call a fish with no eye?
A fish with no eye.
All right, let's get in.
You get
let's
that
get in.
off the bat, off of a Laffy Taffy.
Let's get into our short attention.
He's
news.
said that one before. And it's...
That's what you were like.
It wasn't funny the other time either.
Hang tight, just
all right. So starting the short attention news off with PAX South is being pretty much canceled for the foreseeable future. There are multiple PAXs, west in Seattle, east in Boston, Unplugged, which is coming up, I think, second week of December in Philadelphia, as Mike Seliker is going to be there with his game company in a professional aspect. PAX South was in San Antonio, Texas. I have been there twice, and they basically sent out a notification. Hey, we really appreciate all the fans. PAX South really hasn't expanded or come to some extent, has remained the same show that since it opened in 2015. It did expand a little bit, but I get where they're coming from. It was a January show.
That's hard.
Yeah.
And
hard.
Up until just the last couple of years or so, January is a very tough time for games because all the companies have built up for the holiday season selling and then done all their releases and now they're done. They have nothing to announce in January's. And that's always been part of PAX is video game companies, board game companies coming and showing off their new thing to fans. That's part of the show. And they've had some things in PAX South before, but so they said, sorry if you're looking forward to it, to the return in 2022, but we're going to cancel it for now. Certainly, yes, it didn't expand maybe like they thought it would. Could be the time of the year. Also, I mean, they might be canceling. They may not say it. And while those other things are true, PAX West was a fully vaccinated or tested as COVID-free show. PAX Unplugged coming up is a vaccinated only. You can't even get in if you test free. It's vaccinated only. And they even said that now that the CDC has released a new age range for kids getting vaccinations, that kids of those age must be vaccinated to go to the show.
Good.
But do you see a trend here?
Yes, it's Texas.
What's illegal in Texas?
Texas. Having a power grid. I don't know.
Texas. Oh, yeah, there's a lot illegal.
There's a lot of illegal things
and
Texas making it illegal for most. Yeah, for people to mandate people be vaccinated in order to go to things.
Yeah.
So that might have something to do with this.
I will say,
because
I will say in Georgia, going to just shows in general that I've been going to in the last few months. It's funny because I went to one initially that was we didn't care. It went from we didn't care to vaccination or negative test within 72 hours. And then it went to vax only. And watching the different crowds go to them. And, I don't have any problem with if you don't want to get a vaccination.
Yep.
And that's your thing, fine. I have no problem with that.
I do have a, since we're talking about it, and I know this is short news, this is probably a longer topic, but
I should have moved this one up.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, specifically around vaccinations, you can still get COVID and spread COVID being vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why is it okay for me who has been vaccinated and can still get it and pass it on to not have a negative COVID test on top of my vaccination records versus somebody who has not been vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I'm not saying I'm a doctor, because I'm not.
It's true, but if you're vaccinated, even if you do get it,
just playing devil's advocate,
the chances of you passing on are much, much less because the virus doesn't
based on different
get the
variants,
ability to.
From my perspective, it's just that people just don't die as frequently. So like if you come
but also you can't pass it on as easily because because of the antibodies and everything that you've already developed, that the virus can't propagate as fast and you can't pass it on as easily to other people.
And then also on the other side, the people you would pass it to, if they were vaccinated, they also have a very low possibility they'd even get it either. So that's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Again, I don't care if you don't want to get it for either like your own, just whatever beliefs or potentially religious beliefs or whatever. But there is going to be a line that has to be drawn because people that, are vaccinated don't want to get it. Very clear.
Like
that is a thing.
I am pro-vaccination.
Yeah, I mean, I'm vaxxed. Like, it's fine.
I'm
like,
literally,
I
am vaccinated.
Sure.
Yeah,
so.
We're gonna get our kids vaccinated. Like, this is not like I just wanted to kind of put it out there. Like,
it's an interesting time.
I'm also fine with companies deciding whether their event should be vaccinated or not vaccinated. I also think that that's their choice as well.
Yeah.
And it's a consumer market. That's how a consumer market works.
It's interesting.
It's the same as like, hey, it's no shirt, no shoes, no service. Well, if you're a company that says that and you're a beachfront company, you're not going to get as many clientele.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's interesting to see that, we're living through this pandemic, right? Like we're living through this. And this is probably the only one we've all been a part of. But you go back in the history, like, polio when it first came out. I'm not saying this is as bad as polio. Don't get me wrong on that. Like, I know there's different side effects to what polio does versus what kids with COVID, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm saying. But the point is,
there's a lot of similarities.
Right. But what I am trying to say is that, at that time, they were giving out vaccinations for polio as well. And people were just like this, very skeptical. Like, why do we want to give? We haven't tested, like we've tested it, quote unquote, but we don't know what's going to happen. But it's about risk versus reward, and that it's really what it comes down to. And if that's a decision you have to make.
It's all about risk for me personally, but
that's a decision you have to make as a parent, as a person. You have to decide: is it worth it or is it not? And that's kind of where it's at. Anyway, not trying to get all sidetracked on the COVID thing. But,
sorry, since we were derailing.
No, it's cool. But no, it is a thing. And that is obviously affecting. Like what we're seeing here at PAX, like PAX is their mindset of their business is, vaccinations required. And if you're going to be in a state where you can't require that, that's putting their people at risk. Like the people that want to attend their kind of conventions.
Also, I don't have any insight into the business of Penny Arcade and Reed Pop, the two companies involved in PAX. But I can say that I don't necessarily think it's a political thing so much as they actually tracked to their convention part of the spread of the swine flu one year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So like they already have that guilt of a very bad flu season that had a higher number of deaths than usual and that they were a super spreader for it. Yeah. And it could very much be that they're doing this because they're like, we already know the dangers of something like this just because of the flu. So how about we just, go down this road?
Yeah.
Granted, they're not asking for proof of flu vaccinations, but
yeah, like I said, it's
it
business.
Could be related still.
It's their business and that's what they want to do. And, they got burned once before, right? Like they're going to make sure they don't do that again. So, that doesn't mean that you can't go to a PAX event. It just means that their rules are they want you vaccinated. And if you can't attend to that, then there's obviously a PAX online. You can still attend that. You can still read the articles afterwards. You can still do a lot of things.
And then there's like,
another convention.
Gen Con. And there's, what's the music gaming one?
DreamHack.
That was DreamHack, but it starts with an M, I think.
MomoCon?
MomoCon,
That's
there's MomoCon.
Yeah.
like there's all these other ones anyway, and
Yeah.
and of course Dragon Con, especially if you're cosplay.
Well, Dragon
that's-
Con
that's
was
extremely popular.
vaccinated. Well, at the time they were doing vaccination or negative test. That
Yeah.
was what was changed at the last time.
But what I'm saying is like if you want to do something like that, there's still choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's becoming part of the normal. So if you're like, I'm literally
Only
now,
for some people.
well, I mean, I'm getting
Some
to the
people
point
are
now.
fighting it like anything.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm getting to the point now. Anything I want to do, like they're always like, "Hey, we need a vaccine." I literally went to a party this past weekend, a friend's
AWA
party.
says Runner Diva.
Yeah, I went to a party this past weekend for Halloween, literally at a person's house. And when I got there, I had to show them on my phone a picture of my vaccination card, or I couldn't come in. Like that's literally how some people are taking this. And I'm not saying I had to go to his party. I didn't have to, but I decided to do that, and I had to do show proof. But that was like how some people are actually taking this. It's like, and it's becoming such a norm now that whether you go to a convention or just a friend's party at their house, that's what we're requiring. So it's like
that's why we didn't have our Halloween party this year. I did not want to. It was going to be a lot bigger. Like I wasn't going to have everybody like come to the door and show me. Like I didn't want to deal with that, and I didn't want to deal with. Oh my god, all these other people got sick. And they all came to my party and was this ground zero for all of that.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, that's us. We love you guys.
Another year or two.
Hopefully
people
this will
forget. We'll just continue on with life.
Continue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And people will get all angry about something else.
Yes.
And they're and
There'll
I'm
be
and
something else for sure.
And believe me, I'm not talking about the anti-vaxxers. I'm talking about because it takes two to tango. And it's both sides that get angry. It's not one side, people.
It absolutely is.
So
there's people on both sides that get angry about this. And guess what? 2 years from now, it'll be a different topic, and we'll have two sides or even three sides again, and people will be getting angry again. And you know what? The better thing is to stop getting so angry and just deal with the fact that not everybody is going to think the way you do. And yes, that may endanger some parts of your life, and that's going to happen. But same with drunk driving, and same with, same with
belts, whatever.
People irresponsible using firearms. There's seat belts. Yeah, that's another one. There's hundreds and hundreds of things.
Yeah.
That if they do something wrong that's endangering you, chances are there's probably something that you do, even speeding, that endangers other people.
Hey, Kelly, tell us about that other thing in Texas.
So, have you guys heard of this guy named Elon Musk? Do you know who he is?
I think I've heard something about him.
Well,
Star Dude.
I've heard him called the richest man in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy. Jeff Bezos? No, it's not Jeff Bezos. Okay.
Not Jeff. No. He's number 2 now.
Oh, right.
So
don't think he cares.
Elon, the United Nations are claiming that a very small percentage, or just a small, not very small, a small percentage of his wealth could solve world hunger. And so this article, I'm kind of backing him on. Can't back him on too much because I got a second article. But David Beasley, he's the director of the UN's World Food Program. And he's saying, you got to step up now on a one-time basis. The small percentage of, what you can provide will cure world hunger. And he said, it's just $6 million. That'll keep 42 million people. I'm sorry, 6 billion. 1 million. No, $6 billion. Thank you. Will keep 42 million people from dying. And he said on Twitter, he's like, well, you know what? Tell me, explain to me right now, describe in detail how this will help, and I'll sell $6 billion worth of Tesla stock right now. So he's calling their bluff.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, this is on Twitter, so it is public, well known. Guaranteed Elon will do it if they can back it.
Yeah, I mean, he's already said it. What are they gonna do? Like, I mean, so his stock is the most valued
He's
stock.
backed out of things that he said he'd do before.
That's true. But I'm saying his stock is the most valued of all stocks ever. Like his over $1 trillion evaluation for Tesla at this point, which only 1% of that is really the cars they've sold, which is really crazy. But either way, like
It's normal
for
a company.
him to back out of, like, if they were to like provide him an itemized list of every single thing that would cause world hunger to go away,
If
for
they
him
can
paying that.
prove it.
Yeah, if they can prove it.
Prove it. Yeah.
Then do it. But that's the thing, and I think he did that on purpose, because I don't think he really wants to pay $6 billion. I think it's more.
No,
of,
it's not even.
There's
that.
not really
It's like,
that defined.
I hate to say this, but he is a very smart man, and he knows finances. He's also been challenged. He's also challenging the whole, tax the rich, and he's like, when you start taxing the rich, you're not really taxing the rich. You're taxing the somewhat rich, and that also is not going to cure your issues. So that's another article that we can read into.
I just thought it was interesting because of the fact that it was like he was just like, well, do it, let's go, let's just put it up there,
just show me.
I think well, I don't always agree with that man, and he is a bit of an egotist. And he has also brought us a lot of really cool things that I really do enjoy and like, and get behind. I think one of the interesting things that he's trying to point out there is, hey, don't trivialize this stuff. This isn't an easy problem. You $6 billion is not going to fix this like you think. It will band-aid it, sure.
Shortly.
And hey, don't get me wrong, $6 billion is going to fill a lot of bellies, sure, but don't sit there and
it's a bigger problem.
Don't do a tagline. Don't make this into a tagline, which is really odd for him to say because he taglines a lot of shit. So it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. But
no, I agree. That's exactly, and that's why I thought it was interesting is the fact that like he literally just Dogecoin. Someone just put in chat. Funny because I'm still sitting on my Dogecoin that I won't sell now until it ever does nothing. I'm just gonna hold it forever. But whatever.
I laugh. That's a different.
I only bought a small significant amount of Dogecoin, so it's not gonna hurt me or make me millionaire. So unless it does something crazy like Bitcoin. But anyway, just saying. Anyway, you had something else for us.
So keeping with my favorite person in the world,
speaking of things of taglines and stuff that I like,
for 500, please.
This one's hard for me.
No, that's the other side of the coin.
So Elon Musk tweeted out that he was thinking of starting a university
for his new favorite state.
Yes, Texas. Which I'd love a lot of people in Texas. Please, like I honestly, truly have.
We love the people. It's just
that I love in Texas. I'm not mocking Texas. I'm not dogging Texas.
You have 14 seconds.
Oh, no, I have way more than that because I'm just going to blow past it.
It's just keep the innuendos coming.
Yeah. So he tweeted out that he was going to start a new university called the Texas Institute of Technology and Science. And I went to a university called the blah, 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 not University in Science of Technology and Science, but I was like, technology and science. Well, typically it's science and technology if you're going to do that.
I wish we had recorded
what
Kelly's
happened
face
earlier. And I was like,
we did.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no, we didn't.
I was like,
no, you're right. You meant earlier before the stream.
Yeah.
Damn, I'll have to remember that next time.
The realization.
Well, the question she goes is, I don't understand what's the joke.
I don't get the joke. I know there's a joke here, but I don't get the joke.
Actually, Goomba Turkey just pointed out the name of the Tesla is what we also talked about this earlier. Well,
we're about to talk about that too.
I pointed that one out.
Yeah.
When she got the joke about the Texas
Yeah.
Institute of Technology and Science,
The TITS. Oh, and then he went on to say something like, "Oh, our merchandise will be epic and universally admired." No, you won't. First of all, you're about to get canceled. But this is no surprise because he's the guy who named rockets Big Fucking Rocket. And the three, as Goomba Turkey pointed out, the three models of the Tesla cars. Well, this article only shows the three, but S3, and if you flip the three around, X, and then as Goomba Turkey and Phoenix pointed out, Y.
The Model Y.
Sexy.
And apparently there's a rumor that he did not want to call the Model 3 the Model 3. He wanted it actually just to be the Model E, and the board apparently told him that he couldn't do it. So he gave him the middle finger.
E definitely doesn't look as good as the 3. When you think about like models of a car, like S is like the best model, right? Then you have like
S is usually standard.
Well, no, like
in
racing cars, like Model S is like the top, right? And then you have like E.
It's S class.
Yeah, S class. Yeah, like an E would be like, what the fuck is E? Like that sounds terrible.
E's like a Yugo.
Hey, Mercedes has an E class.
I'm just saying, but that's what you think about. It's definitely below S. So they're like Model 3. We'll definitely sell that because this is like a fancy car, right? Model 3, 3rd edition. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. They did it.
I honestly don't know where Zeiss is going with this
at this point
because it was a very easy thing. He was using letters.
Letters. Me using letters.
SEXY.
XY. I know. I'm familiar with XY.
Yeah. I mean, phallic rockets. This is all just a.
I mean, to be fair, he did name the landing pads after the names of the motherships in that science fiction book about aliens disguising themselves as humans and coming to Earth and other planets. It was, but the novel took place on Earth to introduce new technologies to try to save that particular race. So his landing pads for his rockets are actually named after the motherships in that series.
He does have a lot of insight. He is intelligent.
Let's speed this up. We need a speed round of short news.
About Elon Musk.
Jesus, we have murdered the short news for today. Let's do it.
Speed round. Fortnite. Fortnite. We talk about Fortnite a lot, but Fortnite in China introduced in beta form in 2018. A lot of differences there because they can't have skeletons or skulls showing. So the husks and everything else, and even the outfits that they did were very different. They even played up more about the fact that you're a hologram and you're playing in virtual reality so that it seemed less violent. Some of which, actually survives in the US version as well, just not as prevalent. Ends up they're shutting down the China's beta test. So this long beta test they've been running November 1st, they're no longer going to allow new users, and November 15th, they're no longer going to let you log in, and they're going to turn off the servers. And interestingly enough, they're not saying why.
What's really funny,
people believe that it has to do with the crackdown that China's doing with gaming with children that we have reported on before.
What's really funny is they, like you said, don't allow certain things, but they did allow the movie Coco, even though it was all skeletons, because it has to do. I made it
on time. I was speeding it up.
What the fuck?
Their history.
Like, we gotta race through this. Let's get done.
I thought I had 10 seconds, but then you kept going. So
he just loves Coco. You and your son.
My son loves Coco. Anyway,
I know.
So Phasmophobia, I played it this past weekend. The new Nightmare mode does include a new map, which is an outdoor camp style, like almost like Friday the 13th style, like cabin and shit. Really cool map, but there was a new familiar character that was able to be seen, and it can actually be seen in 3 different spots in the map from what people have discovered. And it's totally an Easter egg. So there was an Easter egg of Friday the 13th, like the Jason mask, like sitting out in the water. But there was also, if you looked at certain parts, there was the Slender Man. So if you looked at certain parts of the map and you looked through the woods, in the
What?
distance, you would see Slender Man standing there, and which is really neat. They added that in as like a little thing, but people are thinking maybe that character is coming as one of the ghosts, but we don't actually know that for a fact yet. But yeah, he's there, so check it out.
Cool. That would be cool.
Oh.
So somewhat recently, D&D had one of their regular events where they talked about new releases. And one of the little things that they dropped that wasn't even on my radar at the time is that they are announced the approximate date of the release of D&D 6th edition. And if you, like me, have purchased quite a bit of 5th edition items, that's kind of concerning. Well, a couple of things to take away that concern. It's not until 2024 because they want to do it to coincide with the 50th anniversary of the release of D&D from 1974. So that's pretty awesome. So it's going to be in 2024. And on top of that, they did say that your 5e will be completely compatible with D&D 6e. So 6e is just going to add new items. Very similar to Zycia's favorite 3.5 edition.
Well, I was gonna say, even with that, really quick, is no D&D edition's ever going to be outdated because you can always take bits and pieces. So 8 seconds over, no big deal. It's better than like 5 minutes. So Netflix, I'll take 8 minutes off of this, or 8 seconds off of this one.
8 minutes off.
8
Okay,
minutes.
good. 8 minutes off.
All right, we're good. We're done. So Netflix, we talked about this in the past, that they're going to create a gaming service. Well, they actually started rolling this out already. So subscribers based in Poland already have access to this service. But what's really interesting is it only is available through the Netflix app via a mobile phone or tablet. Or Android device, essentially. But which is really weird because there's only certain games available, which are like Netflix almost exclusive games at this point, or like really crappy, like solitaire. But the object is they actually did it.
I am so in.
They totally did it. So good for them. And there's their 8 seconds back.
All right. So those hackers we've been talking about on Twitch? Yeah. So they laundered $9.8 million. Really this time, not billion, $million through Twitch or from Twitch. Through the scam, they reached out to people. They got the credit cards, and then they reached out to people on Twitch and were like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna pay you, and you can take this X amount, and then we're gonna give you the money, and then you're gonna refund 80% of it back through the bank." And they were like, "Sounds like a great idea," and that's money laundering.
So it's not related to the hack that just happened. This is something that's been happening for 2 years now. But the point is, this has happened. So just don't.
Sorry. Yes.
Also, just minor PSA. If it's too good to be true, it's probably illegal, assholes.
Yeah, don't listen
if
to people.
If somebody say they're going to give you $1,000, but you just have to refund 80% of it, you get to keep $200. There's obviously something shady going on.
I don't understand.
That's not how real shit works. You're like, no, just give me $200 and I keep the whole thing. That's how like, shit should work.
Oh my God. It's like that email that I got when I sent that guy $200,000 and then he was like, I'll send you $20,000 back, but then I'm going to send you the rest back plus interest and all that. And I was like, well, where's my $180,000?
Yeah. Anyway, on to one of my favorite topics, tacos.
Yes.
But also space, because I've loved space as a little kid. I did dioramas of like different satellites when I was like yay tall and shit. Apparently they have been growing green chilies on the International Space Station since July. And they finally got big enough that they were a hybrid hatch chili. You can't call them a hatch chili because they're not grown in Hatch, New Mexico. It's like champagne. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they grew them up there. and they harvest them, and they made like tortillas and put chilies and some other stuff in it, and they made space tacos.
Oh my God.
I'm so happy about this. They made space tacos.
Hashtag tacos in Phoenix Nova. Jesus Christ. And I'm going to end this on the short news there because there is another one that's not really a whole minute worth, but I'll just mention this, that the RTX 30 series is still having issues with people stealing them. And that recently a EVGA spokesperson has come out and said that 30 series, a shipment of 30 series were stolen off a truck that was on the way to the distribution center. And they can't comment on it right now because it's an ongoing investigation. But the point is, people are still out there hijacking 3080s and 30 whatever at this point, which is just... I want to build a PC in the somewhat future, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen. So we'll see.
Yeah. It'll be stuck on a boat or in somebody else's hands after they've heisted a truck.
Basically.
Is that even fucking a word?
That's a word for me. Anyway, emails. We don't have any emails, but if you want to send us one,
Space chilies,
feel free to send us an email. Other than that,
GOA@sasgaming.com.
Exactly. Other than that, there's a few things you need to take away from this whole debacle.
I like tacos.
The first one is Phoenix likes tacos. Send him
I
taco
would
pics.
buy a salsa
The podcast
produced by NASA.
I would too. I'm fucking.
I would totally buy a NASA salsa made from chilies made in space.
Secondly,
grown in space.
Is Phasmophobia is going to be happening this Friday, hopefully on my Shocktober Encore.
That's absolutely not true.
That's not what we said.
I thought we did. Okay, so something's going to happen this Friday for Shocktober Encore. Feel free to join us. Donations are already done. It's just a matter of coming to watch the stream. It's totally fun. So everything's great. See you guys.
To see me spare Mike again?
No, I'm locking the door this time. And that's not happening. But I will see you guys Friday for Shocktober. And then the third thing is, if you want to follow us or think that we're somewhat entertaining, and entertaining can be a lot of things for you, so it doesn't matter exactly what that means for you.
Do you like watching dumpster fires?
But if you like that, you can follow us at sasgaming.com, where you can find all of our links to our Discord and all the fun stuff. And if you want to maybe support us in any other way,
link tree.
If you want to support us in any other way past that, you can go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/sasgaming. We love you guys and gals and two spirits and whatever else that you may identify as, because we don't care. But
you be you.
The idea is, you be you. So until next time, we love you guys and gals and all of the in between. Take care and see you next Thursday, or see you Friday. See you.
Yeah, Friday.